In this video, we're going to go over how to buy mutual funds from Fidelity trading platform. So let's get straight to it. On this page here, I basically went to news and research, and I clicked on mutual funds, and it takes me to a place where there is a template where you can basically filter what type of mutual funds you want to purchase. So if we look over to the asset class, there's a variety of different mutual funds you can search for. You can search for asset allocation mutual funds, alternative mutual funds, commodities, international equity such as international stocks, money market accounts, municipal bonds, sector equity, and taxable bond and U.S. equity. So depending on what strategy you want to buy, I'm going to say that the most common one is asset allocation. But again, we're just going to go ahead and click all classes so we can get a good look at what type of mutual funds we would like. I do want to show you one thing though. If you click on allocation, you can go ahead and basically search for target date funds, and target date funds are really effective for someone who basically just wants to buy mutual funds and let the account managers do all the work. And so let's say, for example, you're going to retire in 2055, then you would go ahead and click target date mutual funds. So that's something you can look at. Now, let's go back to all asset classes. Fidelity offers their individual mutual funds, such as Fidelity Funds account. So you can, if you wanted to go ahead and search for those, you can basically just check mark. And Fidelity also offers fund picks from Fidelity, which narrows your search down. But let's just say that you wanted to keep a simple search. Obviously, you want to go ahead and search for the top rated mutual funds, and as you can see, it narrows it down to about 339 mutual funds. Depending on how much risk you're willing to take, obviously you want the highest return and you want the lowest expense, because if you buy mutual funds that have high expense ratios, you're going to have to pay for a higher amount for holding the mutual fund. So you always want to go for low index funds, low mutual funds, and highest returns. And let's see what kind of results Fidelity gives us. And there we go. So you can basically see here the 2055, 2045, and the 2050 funds are pretty good. If you look at the 5-year track record, you're looking at an average about 7.6, 7.5%, which is pretty good. That's roughly what you're going to get, especially if it's a mutual fund that's well diversified. But let's take a look. Let's click this 10-year track record and see what kind of results we get. So there's this private mid-cap stock fund class that gives you a 10-year average of 16%, which is really good. Let's see what else. There's a different small cap stock. So these look like they're going to be mid cap and small cap. So those are great, and they're going to give you the highest rate of returns. The only problem that I see with this is that they're not really well diversified. They're only diversified in a certain market capitalization, such as small cap and mid cap. So normally, again, target funds are really great in this case. But as you can see here, this Fidelity Strategic Dividend and Income gives you a 13.15%. So let's say we want to look at this mutual fund here. We know it's a Fidelity mutual fund, and we're looking at a 5-star rating, which is really good. That's what we want. We're also looking at high returns, very good, and a low expense ratio, excellent. And in terms of the risk category, we're looking at about moderate, in the middle, a little less. The last 10-year track record has given you about 13%, which is a great return. So this hypothetical growth chart basically shows you how this fund has compared with the S&P 500 and other indexes. So the purple line is the mutual fund. So as you can see here, the S&P has outperformed this mutual fund the last 2 years. That's common with most mutual funds. Most mutual funds don't outperform the S&P 500, but the good thing about this type of mutual fund, let's see what type of holdings we have so we can determine how well diversified this portfolio is. So you see here asset allocation, that's basically telling you what this mutual fund holds, and you're seeing here 52% of the stocks in this mutual fund are dividend paying stocks. The additional 46% is U.S. stocks, domestic means United States, and 3% international. And then you have a very small percentage in REITs, which stands for Real Estate Investment Trust, and MLPs. So let's say we wanted more information. Then we got corporate bonds. All right, so pretty well diversified. Let's see what type of information we get here. Okay, so let's see. We have it's letting us know that this is a large cap value mutual fund, which is pretty good. And here it gives you a breakdown of the different industries and market sectors that this mutual fund has. 15% real estate, 11% consumer, healthcare, and you can basically compare it to the S&P 500 here. So more information that you can look down here. Here it shows you the top 10 holdings of this mutual fund. So that's pretty good. And yeah, you can pretty much just glance through this page here, and it'll show you more details on this mutual fund here. But really, all you need to know is if you look at the summary, you just make sure to look at the expense ratio. So it has a pretty low expense ratio. Anything less than 1 is really good expense ratio. Just so you know, a mutual fund is a fund in which an asset manager is managing this fund. So you can see that there's a 51 turnover rate, which basically means that there's about 51% turnover rate, meaning they're moving stocks in and out of the fund to try to get the best possible results. That's very common in mutual funds. Index funds such as ETFs normally don't have this type of turnover ratio, simply because they're passively managed. So yeah, great way to invest passively without having to invest it on your own. But if you wanted to go ahead and go back to mutual funds, you can look at target date funds. Those are really effective, especially if you kind of just want to put your money into the stock market and not look at it. You want to go for the asset allocation and target date funds. So for example, I'm 30 years old. Let's say I want to retire to 2055. I'm going to go ahead and click target date 55 funds, and I'm going to search my results, and Fidelity is going to give me the type of funds that are 2055. And I'm getting slow connection here, and I think I lost the internet. Oh no, here we go. Okay, so yeah, here we go. Fidelity Freedom 2055, 7% year track record, and looks pretty good to me. But as you can see here, this fund has a minimal initial individual IRA and group investment of $100 million. So this fund, we may not be able to purchase it because we're not institutional premium class. So we might have to go back and find one that's not institutional. For example, let's say Freedom Fund. Let's see if we can click on this one here. And this one should be able to, yeah, so this is for the investor class. So I can definitely purchase this one, and there's $0 minimum requirement in order to buy this fund. So that's one thing we didn't go over, is you want to make sure it's investor class and not institutional funds, because there's a minimum requirement before you buy the fund. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free. Once you're ready to buy, you can go ahead and just go through the buying process. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment down below, and looking forward to making some more videos on investments. Have a great day. Thanks.